Hi everyone, it's me again and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a really long time and I'm so sorry. Life has been crazy as usual. I don't know, I was just thinking about a lot of things, but I've had people tell me that I should do it again and that it was really encouraging to them and really helped them, and it also helped me and made me really happy. So I'm gonna start them back up again. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but if you do, I posted a couple of weeks ago about something that I was gonna share that God has been doing in my life, and it had to do with having a calling instead of a career, and that God has called us to each do something different for the kingdom and how unique and special that is, and that I wanted to share with everyone kind of what God has been doing in my life. Just to give you a little backstory, I went to the Dominican Republic 2 summers ago with my mom, my grandma, and my cousin, and we went for a fun vacation to celebrate me and my cousin graduating high school. And it was so much fun. We stayed for a week and we were right on the beach. It was perfect. We stayed in a huge resort. Everything you can imagine was there. We went snorkeling. We saw a lot of the shops on the island and just walked around, hung out at the beach, and swam with sharks and stingrays, all that good stuff. And so we were in the resort pretty much the whole week, and we wanted to do kind of something outside of the resort, so we decided to sign up for this dune buggy tour. And we really didn't know anything about it other than they take you to this place where they hold all these buggies, and you kind of go on like a tour, and there's a guide and you kind of just follow him, and there's like 4 to a car. So it sounded really fun. We wanted to do it. We wanted to see more of the island, and we knew that we would get to go to like a cave and swim in it and go to like some really pretty beaches and like a coconut farm, and it would just be really fun. So we signed up for it, and it was on one of the last days of our week. So when we went to go do it, they loaded us all up in a truck and we drove. We just kept driving for like 2 hours, and we had no clue where we were going. We're like, okay, hopefully we'll get there at some point. But it took about 2 hours, and as we were driving, we kind of passed all of the villages and where the people lived and their hospital, and it was crazy to see like right outside the resort, this is how they're living, and it's like a third world country, and there's so much poverty and need, and you see these people, you know, without shoes walking around, and their houses are run down. And the whole week we've been in this huge resort with everything, all this food, and it's just crazy to see like right outside the resort, this is how they're living, and this is what they go home to after work. And we weren't really thinking about that during the week because we were on vacation. So it was a good experience as well as a fun excursion. One specific place they took us was this really beautiful beach called Macau Beach. And I mean, just clear water. It was beautiful. All the palm trees were everywhere. And we stayed there for like 20 minutes and we swam in the ocean. And there was a lot of local people selling stuff, and it was mainly like the teenagers and the little kids, and they were trying to, you know, raise money for their families. When our tour was leaving, we went back to our buggies and we put our helmets on and everything, and I was driving at the time, so I just kind of sat in the driver's seat and put my feet outside of the buggy, and we're just waiting, you know, for our tour to go. And this little boy, about 7 or 8, comes like running up to me, has this milk jug full of water, and he doesn't have any shoes on, his clothes are ripped, and he just comes over to me, doesn't say one word, takes off my flip-flops, and just starts washing my feet. And I'm just like, what is happening, you know? Like, this is crazy. This little boy doesn't even have shoes on, his feet are filthy, and he's washing mine. And I mean, my eyes were filled with tears. I looked at my mom and I was like, what in the world is going on? And then our tour kept moving, and so we had to leave, and the little boy kind of understood that, and he just ran away. And I never said one word to him. He never said one word to me. He just washed my feet and then left. And it was crazy. I didn't even see him wash anyone else's feet. I didn't really see him before or after that had happened, and I was just amazed. And I didn't want to leave, but it was really hard for me just to leave because I kind of wanted to, you know, see him, talk to him. I had no clue what just happened. So that really stuck out to me. And we saw a lot of the village when we went back to the resort as well. And that was probably the highlight of my trip, or at least one of the big ones, because I'll never forget that, and I don't know even why that happened. And so coming back, the past year and a half, I would think about it, you know, when I would talk about the trip or say what my favorite parts were, but I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought it was a crazy, amazing experience, and it just kind of gave me a connection to the kids there. All last year, during the school year, my biggest prayer was, okay, God, I'm here, use me. Whatever you want me to do, however you want me to be a light in this world, you know, show me what you want me to do. And so I would pray that all through the school year last year, and I kind of wanted to see, you know, what God had for me. So I would apply to some mission trips here and there, kind of try to take initiative and see for myself maybe some things that I could do. But each time I did it, the doors would be closed, and it was very obvious that God would close those doors. And I had such a peace about it, and I was like, okay, this isn't my time, this isn't for me right now. So I was just like, I'm just gonna wait and pray. So that's exactly what I did. So I learned that God wanted me to be faithful in the small things that He had for me in the present moment and what I was doing in Lynchburg, Virginia, because I had no clue what God wanted for me, and I didn't want to plan it myself. So I was like, okay, God, I'm going to be faithful in what you have for me right in front of me, and that just includes, you know, my schoolwork, the people around me, my job, all of those little things, my church. So starting out the school year, I was like, okay, whatever I do, I'm going to do it for God's glory. Even if it's little or big, whatever it is, it's going to happen. And I'm going to be a light in whatever way that I can, and whatever that means. And sooner or later, you know, I had more people coming up to me, asking me questions, and, you know, opening up to me, and I was able to share my faith with some people. Conversations just started to come up. Things just started to happen, and I could really tell that God was working. And it just made me so happy, because I was like, okay, this little step of obedience is what God wants from me. And He's giving me all these small things, and He's going to continue to give me things to be faithful in. So I did that, and I also was doing the YouTube videos, and didn't really know what would come of that, and had people come up to me while I was working saying, you know, hey, you don't know us, but our family has been really encouraged and inspired by your videos, and we just wanted to let you know. And it was crazy because I didn't think that would happen, and God just worked through those videos in a little way just to remind me, hey, I'm here, you're doing what I want you to do, and just hold on, because I have something greater for you, as long as you stay faithful in the small things right now. Through that, I just kind of felt like, you know, I really want to be a part of giving to an organization, or being a part of helping a community or a group of people, whatever that may look like, or starting a business to raise money to help someone else. And I just had that passion in my heart for some reason, and I knew it was from God, and I knew He was sparking something in me, and I wanted to see what more that meant. So what I did was I had a meeting with a couple that works for a missions company that kind of connects people around the world and connects missionaries to different groups of people. And I kind of just told them, you know, what was in my heart and how I was feeling, and I felt like God has been preparing me for something, and they just really came behind me, and they're like, you know, we're going to be praying for you. We think this is amazing. It just seems like, you know, God's going to do something in you. As hard as it was, I had to be patient, and it's not easy for me to be patient, but we just kind of had to pray. And they were like, you know, in the meantime, just look on our website, see if anything stands out to you, just you know, just give it a look. So that's what I did, and the first thing I saw on their website was a video of the Dominican Republic and how they are starting up schools there, and their biggest need is an education for the children. They're trying to, you know, raise money to start up these schools and build them and get the materials that they need so that they can give these kids a proper education, because they don't have what they need there. They don't have the right teachers. So it was all centered around the kids. And I just got so overwhelmed because I had that little spark in my heart from that kid washing my feet in the Dominican Republic 2 years ago. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is incredible. Like, I know God has put this in front of me. I mean, what else could it be? It's just crazy how it worked out. And so I told him, I was like, look, I think I need to tell you a story about what happened to me 2 summers ago and how I think this is a God thing and I just want to move forward on it. And they said, okay, we're going to pray and see if this is what God wants. He's going to prepare for you and he's going to lay everything out. You're not going to have to worry about anything. And they were so right. It was only a week and they called me and said, hey, the director of the schools in the Dominican Republic is going to be in Lynchburg for 1 day. They said they would set up a meeting for me to talk with him and his wife. And I just freaked out because the 1 day that they're in town is like the perfect timing to where I'm going through this. And they have no clue what I'm wanting to do with the Dominican. So I got to meet with them and tell them my story and my passion. And they just got so overwhelmed and said, you're basically our answer to prayer. We've been praying for people to want to help and want to be a part in any way that they can and just realize what a need we have. So we spent a really long time talking and they said, when can you come? And I was like, what? And they're like, we want you to come as soon as possible and just see the schools, meet the kids, you know, see what it is God wants you to do and what he tells you on this trip. And I was like, well, I'm not sure, but we have a really long Christmas break. And they're like, well, we kind of want you to come sooner than that. So we decided that I was going to go from December 3rd through the 7th. And my dad is going to go with me. And we're going to stay with them and go to the schools there and just see what it all is about. All of it happened within just a couple of weeks. When I look back on the story, I'm just blown away because God has orchestrated this whole thing. I mean, what are the odds that they would be in town for 1 day where I live? God kind of was using me to answer their prayer, but he used them to answer mine. And I didn't worry about one thing. Like, I had the biggest peace in my heart, and I still do. And I didn't have to go out and look for it. God just brought it all to me. I just know that this has been an answer to my prayer for the last year. And I'm so excited to see what's going to happen when I go, and I'm not sure what is in store for the future with it, but I know that he wants me to go and that I'm supposed to, and that I'm just following each step he has for me. So this is the next step, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys, and I just so hope that you'll be praying for this trip to just really open my eyes and see what it is God wants me to do. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope this encourages you just to go out and pray and say, God, use me, and he will come through no matter what. And it's in his perfect timing and in his perfect plan. So don't give up, and if you'd be praying for us, that'd be great. And thank you all so much for watching. Bye.